They don't realize the game. And whereas women are so aware of the game, when you speak to a 25-year-old, like let's say sex worker, she will tell you she understands men like the back of her hand. So she knows how to give him some fake self-esteem. She'll know how
women
to...
are much
smarter.
Much smarter about
They're
these
much
games,
smarter.
aren't they?
So smart. She will tell you how to work a man in 5 minutes. But these men who have gone from escort after stripper, they still believe the lies women tell them. Because those lies feed this low self-esteem that they're craving an inflation of. So they will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have, particularly as she becomes more beautiful. Or if she is beautiful, she loses all her naivety about men. Whereas men, no matter how rich they get, they don't lose their naivety about women. They want to believe every word she says.
Yeah, men are simple.
They're simple. Yeah, they'll believe what you tell them, not what you show them.
How has the field of relationship coaching changed since you began?
I would say, like, from my experience, as I've become more jaded, I have become a lot more jaded, because I used to be very much like, tell me about your communication style, tell me about your conflict style. Now sometimes I'll go into a couple and I've got a few skills that I think like is very rare. I can look at a couple within a minute. I can tell if a woman is having an affair. Within a minute, I can tell if somebody's having an affair. I think that's my superpower. The video will turn on, and they haven't said a word. And I remember having a couple not so long ago. The video turned on, and I looked at them, and I said, "She's having an affair." I just could within a second. And I asked a few questions, but I knew what was going on. I asked a few questions, and I allowed her to start. And I said, "Do you mind explaining?" And she's like, "Oh, he's a great husband. Just we're not in love." And I said, "You're having an affair. You can be honest, you're having an affair." And he went, "Actually, I've just caught her recently, and that's why we booked the call." And I said, I could tell completely that she's having an affair. And I could tell by the fact that, A, she can't find real flaws in you. She's talking about something you did wrong 4 years ago. Or she'll mention that, oh, he, was emotionally abusive because he didn't remember an anniversary 5 years ago. They bring up things from the past and make the man feel guilty today, because they're trying to cover up with what's the real problem. And the other thing is they're totally disconnected. They're checked out of the relationship. When a woman's genuinely loyal in the relationship, I turn on the camera and she's almost in tears, like, "My marriage is falling apart, help us." But this woman was so disinterested, so like this, okay, looking around, and he's suited and booted and ready for this call. I said, within a second, I could tell she's having an affair. And I said, "You are going to waste your life trying to change and believe that it's something to do with today's problems." She's disconnected. And it's like that, I can tell. So I think my skill set, whereas before I would try and figure out if there's an emotional disconnect or if there's something to do with conflict, now I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but I can spot it a mile away now. Yeah. And I can also tell on the other flip side of things, I can tell when a man is addicted to pornography. Those have become my skills. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay, this is what's really going on. And like that. So those have become my two skill sets, which is a terrible skill set to have, by the way. Can you imagine having a dinner party and being like, porn addict, cheater, that's kind of what it's become.
You have a sixth sense.
Yeah. Because it's a skewed, like I said, if you're a doctor and all you're getting is one particular illness, you can walk into a room and spot it on people's faces. It happens the same with psychological illnesses.
But we're talking in generalizations.
Of course, yeah.
And there are women who are pure-hearted.
I'm not talking about all people. Women. I'm just talking about the ones that the men that this is the thing when people say, oh, generalizing. Grow up. You're not paying for a one-to-one session in a podcast. You're not paying for a personalized experience about you. Somebody's telling you about their generalizations because they can't physically discuss every intricacy of every person.
But this is the danger of getting your psychotherapy on a
if you want your personalized experience, go book a session. But if you expect a podcast to talk about every intricacy about you and your partner and your relationship, it's not going to happen. Except that when people go online, when people give it's their general explanations of what they've experienced, because otherwise it would be pointless pointing out the one tiny anomaly. Generalizations are there for a reason. That's the whole point of every psychological theory is a generalization.
Are there? You can give me the female perspective, but this applies to men as well. We're so focused on, like, you have to be this for your partner, you have to be that for your partner, and to make it work, to go in a positive direction. But are there situations where you can find somebody who is the right partner, but you're just not able to accept them.
In that moment where you
don't
just
feel
can't
you
receive
you
the
don't
love.
believe you deserve them,
Yeah.
or it's just bad timing,
Yeah,
or
does
whatever.
that happen with men a lot as well?
I think
because
it happens both ways.
Yeah, because it happens very much with women. Is that you can see somebody who actually on paper just is treating you right, is kind to you, does want to get married, does want to label it, and same with men. They'll meet a woman that is all of those things, but for some reason they just are still stuck on the woman that won't reply to their text or the guy that won't label the relationship, and there is almost a part of them that has become attracted to inconsistency. They believe inconsistency is an indicator that this partner is valuable, and availability suggests this partner must be low value. So they associate availability with something wrong with them, because what it really signals is something is wrong with your own self-esteem. There's a part of you that doesn't believe you are worthy of commitment, and you are worthy of love, and you're worthy of this level of attention. So instead of appreciating it, you start to question the person who's giving you consistent love. You start to think, what's wrong with you? Why would you want to spend so much time with me? Why would you want to call me? Why would you want to check in if I'm okay? You start questioning their motives, because you can't believe someone would just enjoy and love your company, because either you had an upbringing that made you feel unloved, or you just didn't have access to the opposite gender when you were growing up, and you just formed a core belief that you're not attractive and you're not what people desire. So when people shows you the opposite, you question their judgment rather than appreciate their dedication.
It's like a gambling addiction where you get that payoff once out of every 20, 30 times.
Yeah.
But that challenge keeps you
And I
on the hunt.
urge everybody in that position to really try and shift to a consistent partner. It's a game changer in every area of your life. When you if you are super insecure, if you're super anxious all the time, or when you finally find someone who treats you well and you receive that love and you appreciate it, you won't believe what an instant antidepressant it is.
Yeah.
It's like an anti-anxiety
You
drug.
talk about antidepressant.
It's
that'll do it.
literally an antidepressant. Having a consistent, available partner that you can trust and loves you and makes you feel loved, it's better than any antidepressant you can receive. Yeah, as long as you also like them back and you're not just using them.
Yeah.
That's the key ingredient, the reciprocity.
You need to like them back as well.
You have to like them back. If you don't like them back, they will be seen as a nuisance. But if you like them back, it's seen as a drug.
Do you believe that there always has to be an imbalance in terms of one partner liking the other one more? Or can both people like each other equally?
One thing, I don't know whether there should be, but one thing, biggest mistake I think online is the belief that your husband should like you more than the wife. The man should like the woman more. I always say it's so essential that the woman likes the man more than he likes her. Essential. And the reason I say that is when a woman likes a man more, because divorce is in her hands a bit more, men are relatively placid when it comes to relationships. They are relatively okay with monotony. They're okay if the relationship is not, overexciting, blah, blah, they'll get by with it. Women are not like that. If they don't feel loved, they don't feel consistency, they don't feel excitement, whatever, their emotions take over their judgment. So when a woman loves a man more than he loves her, I'm not saying that's ideal, but the relationship lasts a lot longer.